Hello, I'm Bay Mud. These are my hands, and here is an empty desk. That's right, because today we're not focusing on a particular piece of gear at all, as it's time for a studio tour. In honor of the channel hitting over 3,000 subscribers, I thought it might be fun to pull back the curtain a bit and show what's going on outside of the usual top-down camera angle. However, to make things more interesting, I haven't put much effort into cleaning the studio beyond my normal day-to-day use, so you'll be seeing it in all its messy, disorganized glory. For starters, here's my desk in its entirety, complete with broken hands, remotes for lights I don't know if I still have, and other miscellaneous items. Looking up gets you a view of some cluttered shelves full of old DIY pedals I don't use much anymore, and semi-organized containers of adapters and other audio accessories. The harder to reach shelf is mostly old toys from my childhood because, like most men of a certain age, I'm a man-child feeding off a gluttonous diet of pure nostalgia. Most importantly, tucked behind my monitor here, you'll find more cables than I can ever possibly need, yet somehow never the right one. But hold on to your butts, as while most studio tours brag about unique or expensive gear, this room is all about cables. Here's a spot where I seem to put random stuff I don't quite remember why I needed, under some rack preamps and compressors I never use. Oh, and look at that, more cables. I saw a video recently that suggested this gas can amp has become sought after, so maybe I should try it out more? Incidentally, these are power cables, so they don't count. This brings us to the art portion of the tour. Here's a space flamingo painted by my friend's son. This one is a dog skull painted by yours truly. And these are teeth painted by my lovely wife. That concludes the art portion of the tour. Please exit through the gift shop. This wall handles some of the more classic synths I've collected and repaired over the years that I still never really use but can't seem to part with. Maybe there's an idea for a video in there somewhere, stuff I don't really use but love too much to let go or something. A few of these have been on the channel before, but it might be time to bring them out again. And if you were worried I didn't have enough cables, here are some more instrument and mic cables hanging off the stand for my beloved Hohner Pianette T, just in case the ones behind the monitor weren't close enough. Oh, and some more down here too. In terms of acoustic room treatment, I've got 5 acoustic panels hanging in various spots that I made out of soundproofing insulation and fabric. They do a decent job to deaden the sound and trap some of the bass, but the clutter of the room probably works just as well as a diffuser. In the end, it's always a trade-off between how much space you're willing to sacrifice for bass traps, etc. This is already a small room by studio standards, so this was the best I was able to do. Personally, regardless of how much treatment you can put up, it's still just mostly important to know and be familiar with how your room sounds. I also have this large, heavy theater curtain, which helps a bit and does double duty as a door for this closet. I initially set this up as a vocal booth, with treatment on the walls inside, but as you can see, the desire to stay a closet was just too strong. We can't fight our nature after all, and now it is once again full of cases, empty boxes, and a cart containing, you guessed it, cables. These are the really weird ones I never ever need, but can't seem to get rid of just in case, because I know the moment I do, I'll need one of them. But since we're over here, might as well look at the guitar side of the room, which really doesn't get shown off that much on the channel. At some point, I built too many pedals and they just started climbing the wall. The ones I use the most are down here on the floor, some of which aren't even finished being built, along with some more cables. The guitar wall is home to my first ever acoustic and some weird old electrics, including my trusty parts caster I built that recently got the Fishman triple play MIDI pickup added to it, hence the extra long USB cable that hangs with it. I also built these tube amps and they sound great, but I honestly mostly just play through this Templo Nomad 50 as it's small, loud, and battery powered. But shh, don't tell the jazz chorus. Oh, and there are some more cables on the floor just in case. These vines are kind of like living cables actually, or maybe I'm just losing my mind. I do enjoy plants, though these are starting to take over a bit. Special shout out to the pile of power adapters that are still on the floor from when I unpacked from my last gig a month ago. Right above them, on this partially broken and largely untrustworthy stand, sits the synth board my pal Woodbeard made for me out of 100-year-old lathwood from our walls. This is most of the rig I've been using live lately, though oddly enough, almost completely devoid of any necessary cables. Oh, there they are. This pile of cables is special as it contains the ones I use the most, hence why they get a sought-after place, being tangled up inconveniently just out of reach. There are probably some cables in some of these bins too. I'm sure at one point I had a plan for what each of them would be used for, but they've all definitely now become some variety of junk drawer at this point. This pile of cases is useful though. Oh, and that's Baxter, which circles us right back to the desk where our journey began so many lifetimes and several missing cables ago. So there you have it, my humble studio. I'm sure it will change here and there as gear comes and goes, but if there's anything you're curious about or think I should use more, let me know in the comments. Maybe by the time the channel hits 4,000 subscribers, I'll have a few more cables to brag about.